Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tony. I am playing Stardew Valley with my sister Holly, and today we are talking about what it was like growing up, or sort of, with an alcoholic. So this one might be a little heavy for some people. If it's triggering for you, please click off. Otherwise, we'll get into it. Okay, hello.
Huh.
All right.
Hello.
Oh, okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, it's 7:10 already.
Oh, wow. How'd that happen?
Probably just because we had it, paused for so long. Yeah, we need a kitchen for that, so we're not gonna be able to get that for him yet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so anyway, hi, how's it going?
Okay. My baby is still wiggling, so, let's see how well this goes.
Yeah, well, we'll see how well it goes. Hopefully she doesn't wake back up.
Oh, all right.
Alright, well, yeah, so today we are supposed to be talking about growing up with an alcoholic, or I guess two alcoholics, technically.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
guess
mean,
maybe the
lots of
differences in it.
alcoholics.
Yeah,
Lots.
yeah, growing up surrounded by alcoholics, I guess, would be the way to put it. So it's weird, and like we are going to do a separate video on it, but essentially, even though Holly and I were raised by the exact same parents, we sort of had completely different childhoods.
Yep.
But so we won't
And
really
also,
get. Oh, what?
I was only partially raised by one of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So like, we won't get too deep into that aspect, but I will say that even though I didn't really realize it as a child, our father was an alcoholic.
Oh, yeah.
But
He
he
was.
was not like
He never seemed drunk.
yeah, like he wasn't an alcoholic who got drunk every night. He was an
Yeah.
alcoholic who drank beer every day. But
A
I'm
few
not
beers.
sure if
He was a big guy, so it didn't really affect him that much.
yeah, I'm not sure that I ever actually saw him drunk, to be perfectly honest with you.
Right.
But he did drink every single day. And our mother did not drink for a very long time. And then once our dad died, she started drinking, I think, the original, and I don't know if, like, I don't know how it started. I don't know if maybe some, like, well-meaning friend or family member gave her some wine or something to, like,
Yeah, like
help calm her nerves.
Yeah.
And she realized that she could sleep without, you know.
She could sleep
Yeah,
in
she
general.
could sleep in general. And then after that, it became. She has always been a functioning alcoholic. She has always gotten up every morning, gone to work.
Yep, she's had the same job for 32 years.
Yep, she's had the same job for more than 30 years. She has always, been able to function just fine, but I don't think that there has been a day in the last 20, what would it be, 25 years?
27.
What?
I'm 33.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wait, that means Jason is 28 years old?
Yeah.
How is he that old?
I don't know. I don't have any idea. But he is.
Oh my gosh, I swear that I just told the kids he was like 24.
It feels like it.
Oh my
The
gosh.
last time I saw him, he was. Oh my gosh.
The last time I saw him, it feels like forever too, and it
He
hasn't
was
even been as long
18,
as
I
you.
think.
Oh my
I think he was
gosh.
18. Yeah.
Apparently, the last time I saw him, he was 25. I just can't do math. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a long time that she's been drinking. And it's wine. It's, she doesn't drink beer. She doesn't drink, hard liquor. It's wine.
Yeah, she
Every
also
time.
doesn't get, she's not she's not a happy drunk, but she's
Yeah, she's
not
not
like
like
a
an
violent
angry
drunk.
or
She's not an
abusive or
angry drunk.
anything. She's a drunk that will call you 7 times
So many emotions.
on your birthday to tell you happy birthday, and then call you again the next day to apologize for not calling you on your birthday because she didn't realize
Yeah.
that she called you 7 times.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I
It's the
legitimately
sweetest
think,
drunk.
yeah, I legitimately think that even after all these years, it's the only way that she can go to sleep.
Yep.
And for me, it was a little bit different because growing up with my dad as like a big drinker, it wasn't anything that seemed abnormal to me. It was just dad would come home from work, and actually, he didn't come
Okay.
home from work and crack a beer. When he
No.
came home from work, he was usually making dinner or hanging out with us, watching TV, chilling, whatever.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What happened is he had severe anxiety, and he was absolutely terrified to drive
On the highway.
on the highway.
No.
And he had to get home from work. And so he would, okay, so I'm breaking. Do you want to come over here? Where are you on the farm?
Yes. I was just moving, or I had been foraging.
Oh,
So.
okay. You want to come over here while I break this meteorite thing and we can see what's in it?
Oh
I'm
yes.
assuming it's probably just whatever these crystals are, but
Hopefully they're like worth a lot or something.
yeah, exactly. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Did
I
you get
got
some of that too?
iridium ore. Yeah.
Yeah, how many did you get?
I got 4,
Oh, okay, I got 2. So there
and
must
I
have
also
been
got
6
2
in there.
stones.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
4 stones, so we like switched. Um, but yeah, so our dad would stop at the bar and have a beer.
It was literally
Too.
like down the street.
Yeah, like he would stop it, and he wouldn't have a bunch of beers. He would just stop and drink one beer,
Yep.
to like calm his nerves because he was having such bad anxiety attack, and then he would come the rest of the way home. Now he would play horseshoes sometimes and like shuffleboard and darts and stuff in the evenings some nights. But he never came home drunk.
Also, his best friend owned this bar,
Yeah, and his best friend owned the
so
bar.
it was just kind of a place to hang out too.
Yeah, and yeah, literally it was just like he wasn't out getting drunk. He was just getting rid of his anxiety apparently, or
Yeah.
trying to help with it. And he but then on the weekends he would have barbecues, things like that, and he would drink beer. So as a child, I didn't realize that it was anything out of the ordinary, and that it wasn't. Which, I mean, honestly, it probably was what most other dads did, because it's
Yeah,
just
it was
so
the
common.
90s,
Yeah, like it's just so
80s,
common.
90s.
Even
Yeah.
now, um, a lot of my kids' friends' dads come home and drink every night.
Yeah, I don't. It's so normalized to just like, and like the wine moms that just like drink wine every evening.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the thing, is it's just so completely normalized
And
that
I've always been so against it, but
well,
that's because of the
uh-huh.
what we'll
Well,
talk about
yeah,
now.
that's one of the things that we're going to get into, is the differences between the 5 of us and our relationships with alcohol. And my personal opinion on that. But and then with our mom, again, it's not like it was traumatic. I feel like, for me at least, I can't speak for the rest of my sisters, but it was traumatic for me when my mother started drinking, because that was not something I was used to.
Well,
And you were so young, Hal, I'm not sure if it even really registered for you.
oh, it did. I remember the. Uh, okay, so, mom, how long did it take for mom to start like really drinking after
I
dad
don't
died?
know, because to me it feels like it was like 5 minutes later, but I don't think it really was.
I think that it was after. I don't. I think that it was after grandma moved in, like moved
Really?
to Michigan.
No, it
Yeah,
had to have been
because
way sooner than that, because she was already drinking before I met Janet.
okay, maybe she was, but like I didn't realize it until
I'm thinking it
okay.
was literally just dates.
So it might have been, but I remember specifically there was one day when when we were at grandma's house, and it was like right after grandma moved in.
Yeah.
Like I was 8, by the way, when our grandma moved
Yeah, it was
from
way less than
Illinois.
2 years. It was
Yeah.
probably like
Well,
less
that
than a
was
week.
okay. Well, that was like a year and a half after that grandma moved in,
Yeah.
or moved to Michigan, I mean. So I remember me and Tracy were at grandma's house, and it was right after a Goofy movie came out. And do you remember like the little song at the beginning of that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So we were at grandma's house, and mom was like throwing up like a lot. And it was still, it was not in my mind. I thought mom was gonna die too. Like I don't know why,
Yeah.
but the fact that she was just throwing up so much and just seemed so like
Uh huh.
out of it, and she just seemed not herself, and she seemed completely out of it, and she was throwing up a lot, and I was freaking out.
That
And I
happened to me
remember,
too, but it was at home with the picnic, with her out at the picnic table throwing up.
oh yeah, see, and still I remember that one song at the beginning said something about like she's got butterflies in her tummy, and it's like a silly song.
Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to
When
be
it's
cute and sweet and funny, but
But when it said that, me and Tracy both started sobbing uncontrollably.
oh no.
And and I brought up that story to Tracy because I was little, you know.
Yeah.
So like I brought up that story to Tracy probably like 10 years ago, and I was like when I said something about when mom was really sick, and she's like, "Holly, mom wasn't sick. She was wasted." And I was like, "Oh." And I'm like, that's why she seemed so like out of it and not herself, and like scary almost like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so that was like the first, like, I mean, not the first time because I didn't even realize at that point that she was drinking, but like that was the first time it like affected me. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
right. Yeah, because you were so young. I'm telling you, you didn't notice at first.
yeah, I
But it
didn't.
was it was within the first week that she was drinking.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's why I said I think that some well-meaning person was trying to help her be able to get some rest,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't know
It
who
became
it
kind of a
was,
threat.
and I would never want them to blame themselves. But oh, it's raining today. You want to go to the mines? Or wait, no, we already finished the mines.
Oh, my gold pickaxe is ready.
Oh, sweet.
I don't need it right now because you already broke the thing, but I'll take it anyway.
Yeah, I guess we could go to the mines anyway, just so that we have. What am I doing? Just so that we have like a way to get some more money or something. I don't really know. Or wait,
Oh yeah,
maybe
we
I
can do
should
that.
fish.
I don't know. Let's
I
go to the
could.
mines because I feel like we kind of rushed to get to the bottom of them, and maybe we didn't quite like get everything, you know? Are you focused?
I'm trying to find food. I'm trying to see what food we have to bring
Can
to
you
the
grab me
mines.
some food too?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what we have that we can bring to the mines.
Okay. Oh man, blacksmith doesn't open until 9.
Yeah, that's why I said
Um,
maybe I'll just fish for a while. Or even
yeah,
just.
grab some. Here,
We
just
don't
grab
really
some
have a
stuff.
lot of food options, I'm going to be honest with you.
No?
No, we have 3 eggplant, 5 parsnip, a salmon berry, and a spice berry, and that's it.
Have you checked in the things above the big chest?
Yeah, that's where I got those from.
Oh.
We also
Okay.
have 2 leeks.
Maybe we should wait then. I thought we had like a horseradish and stuff too.
Um, yeah, we might have some. Oh, wait, never mind. Here's 27 salmon berry.
Hmm.
A cauliflower. Okay, yeah, we do have more food than I thought. It's just all out of order.
Yeah, sorry. Once
Um,
once some of the stuff gets filled, I kind of just like toss stuff into the places. Um,
But yeah, so anyway, so our mother, I mean,
wait, well, what happened at the picnic table?
oh, it was just she was getting drunk with Gary, and she just started vomiting, and my mind immediately went to she's going to die.
Oh, okay.
Like, throwing up, especially when it was my mother and it was from alcohol, just terrified me. Because, I mean, I was only 14 years old.
Right.
maybe 15 at the most when this one happened. Um, but yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how many details we want to get into with like stuff that's happened with mom because
Yeah. Well, we can just talk about like the effects that, like,
yeah,
yeah, we don't have to go into like huge detail because it's not really, it's mom's business
yeah,
too.
exactly, yeah.
But
Um,
I will say that like she was never, it was never like, I mean, I'm not gonna say it wasn't a problem because it was definitely a problem, but it was like, oh, hey baby, I love you. Bye. Sorry, Callie came to give me a kiss. But it was just kind of like, it just created a feeling of like not full stability. Like
right.
I never felt fully comfortable, I guess. Are we going to the mines now?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, but okay, so and like for like I said, like I didn't really notice at first. But okay. So let's see. Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm like focused on this. Um, all right, well, do you want to talk first about how it like kind of affected your life?
Um, you mean like, what do you mean like affected my life? Like as a child or now?
Well, as a child, I
Okay, yeah,
guess.
because I don't want to get into how to. Let me know when you're in the mines, and I'll give you some food and
I'm in the
stuff.
mines.
Oh, where are you?
I'm on the first level.
Oh, you're just starting at the beginning again.
Yeah,
Okay, do you want some food?
yeah.
Um,
I have a couple of things, so I don't need a ton.
okay,
But
well I have like 27 salmon berries, so I don't think I need that many. I'll just give you 3 for now, I guess, and let me know when you need more.
okay.
Um, as a kid, it was like I hated it. Like obviously, I absolutely hated mom's drinking. I hated everything about it. But it was kind of weird because like I didn't really like obviously it affected my life and I just watered that rock. Obviously it affected my life in, a lot of ways, but everything about that time is so fuzzy. Like basically the main way that it affected me is the stop, you dummy. Why are you turning sideways? Is because I essentially was not like supervised at all at that point.
Right.
Like I could do and like mom has always considered me the like most trustworthy, most responsible.
Yeah, you're the mom. You're the one that everybody.
Yeah. And so she would literally just let me and Tracy do anything that we wanted as long as Tracy was with me, we could stay out as late as we wanted, we could hang out with whoever we wanted, we could essentially do anything we wanted. We could go to concerts, we could go wherever, and as long as I was in charge of Tracy, it was fine.
Yeah.
And that's a lot to put on a 14-year-old kid.
Yes, it is.
And that's why
Especially since
Tracy.
Tracy was a wild child.
Exactly. That's why Tracy was not exactly well looked after and did a lot of messed up things in her teen years. Because even though I would yell at people for things, I would tell people not to do drugs with her or not to do certain things with her because she was literally like 12 years old. But there was only so much I could do. Especially
Yeah.
because I was already like working. I had a job. So it's not like I was spending every moment just with Tracy, making sure that she was taken care of. I was, you know, working. I was hanging out with my friends. I was trying to make sure that she listened, but it's not like she really listened to me. Some people would
Right.
listen to me, and like, one good thing is a lot of my friends were also older sisters themselves, and several of them had siblings the same age as my sister. Someone outside is smoking pot, and that's all I can smell. Like, it's literally coming in my windows. But, what am I saying? Like, a lot of my friends were really good about, like, helping me kind of keep an eye on her because they had siblings the same age and, you know. But it's not like it stopped Tracy from doing it, you know? Like,
Right, it was kids watching kids. I
yeah,
mean,
exactly. And the biggest problem is, and this is the most messed up part about our entire childhood, and we could probably make a whole video on this one. At least, you know, I could. I don't know how much of it you have knowledge about, but most of the people that Tracy was doing these things with that were not, she was not at the right age for, were full grown adults.
oh, I know some stories. I probably don't know all of them, but I know enough to be really disturbed.
Yeah, and it's like, these were adults.
Yeah,
And
like,
I'm not talking about like having sex with people. I'm talking about like drugs and drinking and things like that. Like, I'm talking about 30-something-year-old people giving her cocaine and, you know, stuff like that. Like, and I would get so pissed. And I would say stuff, but I was a kid myself, so there's not anything that these 30-year-old people are going to listen to.
I know you were probably just as intimidated in a lot of ways as she was by all of it.
Right. And it was very, very frustrating for me because it's like, and the biggest thing is Tracy has always been taller than me. We were roughly the same, like, size, like we could share each other's clothes and stuff, but she was taller than me by a few inches. So she would tell everyone that she was 16 and she was the older sister. And so a lot of these people thought that I was just like her bratty younger sister who was, I don't know, jealous. I don't really know. When in actuality, I was several years older than her. And so, you know, she would tell boys, like even like guys that she was dating, they would find out later on that I was actually 15 and she was actually like 12. And then they would be like, oh my God, she told me that you were 14 and she was 16. And even now, still to this day, there are people who are surprised when they realize that Tracy's not the older sister. Like, people confuse her for me even still because they think that she must be the older one.
Which is so, I don't know. It's weird to me because, like, I don't know. I guess I just can't see Tracy as older. Like,
Yeah,
I
well,
barely
that's
see her
because
as
you
older than
know
me.
her. You know what I mean? Like, you grew up with her. You know her. But,
Yeah.
like, if you look
Oh
at... Oh,
no.
no, what happened?
I don't know. Are you still in the game?
Yeah, I'm still in the game.
That's really annoying.
Let's see if it'll let you join back.
I'm trying.
That was annoying, but we can keep talking while I'm fighting in these
Yeah.
knives.
They mostly see your thing anyway, so.
Yeah, okay, you joined.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bedtime anyway, so I can
Well, I
actually
guess I'll go put
leave
some
and,
stuff in the things.
yeah, I'll leave and go back. I think next time we need to start at a much, much higher level in the mines because that's just giving us rocks, which we really
Yeah.
don't need any more stone at
We'll just
all.
go from the bottom up. I'm not really sure why I chose to go to the top.
Well, you can't go from the bottom up because if you try to go up a ladder, it'll just make you leave the mine.
Oh, that's true.
But we can
That's
start
annoying.
at like level 60 or something. But anyway, so it was very difficult for me as a teenager because, like, essentially I lost both my parents at the same time. Because even though, yes, my mother was still there, she was still buying food, she was still paying the bills, she wasn't present, like, emotionally. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't go to her if I had a problem because she was not functional enough for that, if that makes sense. And,
Makes sense to me.
and so that alone made it very, very difficult. And I was basically stuck taking care of Tracy. Why am I not going in my house? All of a sudden I have the same problem you have. There we go. And Tracy was not someone who was easy to be taken care of. And thankfully, we basically hung out in the same friend group. Tracy did have like friends her own age, but I more or less, my friend group just kind of adopted her because it was so much easier for all of us collectively to keep an eye on her and make sure that she didn't die. Or
Yeah,
like,
and you had some really decent people as friends.
yes, thank goodness that they were all willing to help me out with that. But like, when she was what, 13, 12, 13, I took her to get put on birth control. I
Yeah.
took her. Like, okay,
Oh, flower dance.
All right, do you want to go to the mines again, like right now, since
Yeah.
we have time?
Yeah, we'll go.
But so, you know, like, I don't know, it was difficult. And then as we've gotten older, she still kind of like always like relied on me for like everything.
And she's still kind of the wild child.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. We'll get into everyone's relationship with alcohol after you talk about how all that affected you.
Okay, well, so
If you have that flower to eat, don't waste your time because it gives you 0 energy.
oh, I don't. I just like to pick up things and
Oh,
forage
okay.
when I see it.
Okay, that's cool.
Um, okay, so I don't know. Well, first, I kind of had the same thing going on, only I was much younger. I didn't really have a lot of supervision.
Yeah, but Mom brought you
I
most
had,
places with her, so I don't know what
yeah, well,
happened with all that.
she would bring me to
What do you
like
think, like
grandmas
60?
and stuff. What did you say?
What do you think, level 60?
Yeah, 60 is probably good. She would bring me to like grandma's, but when she would go like to Gary's, she didn't bring me.
No,
I
that's true, but sometimes she would leave you like at Aunt Della's or like
kind of.
places like that.
I remember an awful lot of weekends at the house with you
Oh
guys
yeah,
or
definitely. She would leave you with us too, but I'm saying when you weren't left with us.
oh yeah, yeah, she would bring me to like Aunt Ella's and like which is just bringing me to hang out with another alcoholic, but that's fine.
Yep.
Um
Yeah,
she
that's
would
the
bring me
thing
to
is in addition to Holly and I being like raised as with alcoholics as parents, 99% of their friends were also big drinkers, even if they weren't alcoholics per se.
yeah.
They were definitely drinkers.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um and so we love you, baby. And so yeah, we like I would be watched by friends or I also spent a lot of time at like Autumn's house.
Yeah, yeah.
Um like I had really good friends growing up, so I could be at their house a lot of the time and especially Autumn, like her mom was like a second mom to me. Like she had no problem with me being there, like
Yeah,
whenever,
thank goodness
basically.
that her mom was nice.
Her mom is absolutely wonderful human being.
Yeah, that's
Um
clearly where Autumn gets it.
yeah, right. And her dad, he's just more of a.
That sounded like sarcasm, but I actually meant it, just so everyone knows. I know that it sounded like I was like sarcastically saying that's where Autumn gets it. Autumn is genuinely one of the sweetest human beings I think I've ever met in my life.
It's fact. Um,
Like even
so
when
Autumn's
she's
gonna
trying to be mean.
Autumn's gonna this is like the fourth time in your videos that we've gushed over Autumn. She's gonna watch them someday and
I
be
know,
like, oh
and
my
be like,
God.
wow, are they in love with me? We're not,
Yes.
Autumn, but we do love you.
Um, but yeah, so careful. Um, I don't know, I just told I just told the slime creature to be careful. Like,
I
watch out
noticed
for the
that.
bat.
Be careful as I
Like,
kill you.
yeah, watch out for the bat. I get to be the one to kill you, not him.
Exactly.
Anyway, so, but like, I did also have, friends. I'll say friends, but really I mean a friend, whose mom would heavily judge our mom and the fact that she drank a fair amount.
Yep.
Made comments in front of me all the time.
And the irony of that now is just.
I know. It makes me sad. It would be great if it didn't make me sad.
Exactly. Yeah. If it were anybody else, it would be glorious, but now
It's
it's
like
just terrible.
karma, but karma that I hate.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Karma that I would not have wanted.
Yep.
um, but yeah, so we scary, scary, scary. But also I was like mildly neglected.
Yeah.
So that kind of like affected, like I was teased a lot in school because I was, I mean, when you're a kid and somebody else isn't taking care of you, it's not like you take great care of yourself. And so
Exactly. And here's the thing,
it's
our
kind of obvious.
mother, she paid all the bills. We never didn't have power. We never, went without groceries. We never had any kind of but
Oh,
she didn't remind her 6-year-old to shower.
yeah. It was like,
She
oh,
didn't.
well, and the fact is that by the time she did, like, because she checked out mentally for a while, and as I've said many times before, and will continue to say, I get it. Like, I don't
Right.
think that it was great, but I get it. She went through something horrifying.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I will never judge her for it, but also it
I
did affect me. I was a
Well, and
child.
I had animosity towards her for a very
Oops,
long
oops.
time. Like, I was pissed for a long time.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I was an adult and realized exactly what she went through that I was a little less angry.
Yeah, which I mean,
Which she
it's
never knew that I
fair.
was angry. It's not like I was mean. I didn't act out. Like, I didn't have like a. It's funny because I didn't have a teenage rebellion because I didn't need to, because I was never. Like, I didn't have to have parties behind
In
my mom's
secret.
back in secret, because she literally was always gone and I could just have a party if I wanted to and it didn't matter.
Yeah, and when I was a teenager, I went to parties and she knew it. And as long as she knew where I was and who I was with and all that, she was like,
That's
okay,
what I'm
be
saying. And
careful.
like with me, she didn't even know who I was with. Like, she
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
even really care.
By
I
my
mean,
teen years, she had come back a little bit from.
yeah, exactly. Like with me,
Oh,
she knew, like, she knew certain friends that I was with, but she didn't know 90% of who I was with.
right. Well, and okay, so like here's the thing that I kind of just brought up, but what just happened? Where did my thing go? I just like switched my. That's not what I want to do. Um. Okay,
Sorry.
but yeah, like I just like switched my menu somehow, so I couldn't reach my stuff. It was weird.
Oh no.
Um. But yeah, so like it affected me that way, but also, okay, so our mom, she was, I think our mom was very depressed. I think our
Oh,
mom
100%. Very much
had
so.
had real and serious depression that was undiagnosed and untreated after losing dad.
Well, and probably a
Um,
little bit of PTSD as well. I mean, she literally
oh yeah,
found him and had to try to, like, revive
yeah,
him. Like,
yeah. She went through some serious shit.
yeah,
Um,
it was not a good time.
and, but like, our mom has music. Music is something that has always been really, really big for our mom. Like, she's a music person.
Yep,
Um,
she loves
and
music.
but so there are songs now that even though I love them and they remind me of my childhood and they bring back like good feelings, they also bring back horrible feelings because my mom would like our mom would drink, she'd be drunk and she would just listen to music and cry and sing and oh, it was
Yeah,
heartbreaking. Like it was so sad.
yep.
And
Again,
so
not a
there
good time.
there are songs now that like I'll hear and I love them and I want to listen to them, but at the same time I'm like, oh, this song kills me because it just makes me think of depressed, crying, drunk mommy. And
Yeah.
like,
Well, and another thing with our mom is her and my dad um, had this obsession with Star Trek.
yeah,
And they watched Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And when I say obsession, I mean they had a notebook in which they wrote down every single episode. They had VHS tapes that in
yep.
which they
I
recorded
recorded every episode.
single episode. And they had a whole cabinet filled with it. Like, they were obsessed. I remember right before my dad died, I don't remember if it was for Father's Day or for his birthday, I got him a Star Trek mug that I had found at, one of the little shops that we had in town. And he loved it, and, he drank whatever, coffee or whatever. I don't even remember if Dad drank coffee, to be honest with you, out of
I
it.
don't know.
And after he died, my mother, I don't think, has ever watched Star Trek since. Not one single episode. I don't know where the tapes in the notebook went, but that and the mug were gone. And I don't know if she has them put away somewhere.
I think I broke the mug.
Oh, okay. That's why the mug was gone?
Well, don't you remember? I broke something. I broke something very important.
Yeah, you may have broken the mug.
And I remember I felt horrible.
Yeah, you may very well have.
I literally forgot about that until you said it just now.
Yeah, you may have broken the mug. That would
I think
make
I
sense.
repressed it.
Can I take the block?
Are you trying to find something to throw away so you can pick up that scroll?
Yeah, I need the scroll. Do you have room? Do you want to take something?
I don't have room, but I can get rid of something.
Well, can you read it? Do you have the magnifying glass to read it?
No.
Okay, then I need to do. Yes, Lucas, go ahead, take it. But my phone is plugged in.
Okay, I won't walk past it yet then.
I'll find something to get rid of. I'm just gonna get rid of the slime.
Yeah, we don't need the slime.
I mean, we will later, but
Oh, will we?
yeah. No, Q, I haven't, because we haven't even frickin' unlocked your place yet. But I forgot what we were talking about.
Star Trek.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, like things like that. Like she doesn't watch that anymore. She doesn't even mention it. It's like
Yeah,
it's
Mom was a
weird.
huge Trekkie, and now she's just not.
Yeah,
She's
now
just not.
like I remember when they were like making movies and stuff, and like even just recently one of the actresses from the show died, and I didn't even mention it to Mom. Like normally, like if an actor or an actress that she knows and like something from died, I would, hey, did you see I didn't even mention it to her because I'm worried that it'll trigger her.
Yeah, I genuinely think it might.
Kind of off topic of what you're talking about, but there is one thing that I really want to go to.
Okay. What?
Red Lobster.
Okay, honey. We'll talk about it when I'm not in the middle of recording.
Oh yeah. But I'm doing something funny in VR chat.
What's that?
There is a phone book avatar. We got 4 people, and there's just stacking, so we can all stack on
Oh
top
my
of each
god.
other.
That's terrible and funny, Luke.
And then there's also stomped. Like emote, so we can be stomped and stacked.
Okay.
And over it.
That is funny. But yeah, so yeah, there was a lot of things that changed, I guess, essentially.
Yeah, just a lot of things that like it just brought it like a lot of triggers, like a lot of things that you wouldn't expect to upset you that now upset you. Is I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I like. Oh, come on! Die! No, oh no, it's getting late. We should go. What level is this? 67? Leave the mine. It's midnight.
Okay, that's fine.
So, we can go to 60. We can start at 65 tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of just how it affected me as a kid. It was just like, I don't know. And like, I don't even want to say it because I feel like when I try to explain it, like, say, like, Mom wasn't fully there, and, like, I don't want to make it seem like she didn't, like, parent me, because, like, she did. Like,
Yeah.
she made sure I had up for school. I never felt unloved or anything by her.
Yeah. She just
Like,
became a completely different person. There's no other way to describe it.
she just wasn't, like, she was clearly very, very in her own head to the point where, like, you weren't sure if she really noticed anything that was even going on around her. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
and not because she didn't care, just because she she was distracted.
Well, and
Horribly
another
distracted.
thing that I think, because I don't know how much you remember it, but Dad was the softie. Dad was the one who would ground us, but would unground us super early because he just couldn't handle keeping us grounded.
Yeah.
Whereas Mom was the one who would be like, absolutely not, you know, you're grounded till you're 47.
Yeah. Get over it. I don't
Yeah,
really care.
yeah, exactly. Get over it. Boo-hoo, sucks to be you, basically. And I mean, not like in like a mean way, but just in a I'm the parent, and you know.
Yeah.
But Dad was always the softie, and it seemed like after he died, Mom was like, "Oh shit, now I've got to do both."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she kind of became like, I don't know, it's like she didn't really know what to do at that point, I guess. And what season are we in right now? Is it spring?
Spring. Yeah.
I've got to catch some more fish for this bundle, but I'm struggling to remember what season all these fish are in.
I am. Oh my gosh, hold on. Yeah, exactly. I think, I mean, it was, it's just, I don't know. It's weird because, like, that would be so, that's such a, like, in a moment, you go from, like, being two parents who have it all balanced to just, God, I can't. I don't even want to try to imagine.
Yeah,
It's truly horrible.
yeah, it's like you can't describe it unless you lived it. Like there's no way, because most people who know our mother, even like some friends, don't realize the extent of how much things changed for us.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing too is, we talk about like, mom wasn't, but like at the same time, our mom was like more of a parent to a lot of like our friends and stuff than their parents were.
Yeah.
Like mom took care of kids who weren't hers in ways that, like
Yeah, that their parents didn't. It's weird because like essentially we used to joke around that we would collect strays because like
yeah.
if we had friends who needed somewhere to go, if we had, anything like that, they would be in our house, staying with us, whatever anybody needed.
And like even our friends with like good parents, like Autumn.
Oh yeah.
She
Come on,
like
the flower dance is starting.
Oh, okay, hold on, let me finish watering her plants real quick.
Forgot we had plants.
Like like she spent a lot of time at our house, and she's been really close with mom forever, and
Yeah. Oh yeah. I still to this day have friends. I have friends that I don't even really talk to, who still will visit our mother or like.
Yeah, like Jay's friends still sometimes will like stop in and visit mom, or at least they used to. I don't know if they have in a while, but
yeah, probably not in a while, especially since she moved. So
yeah, they don't even know where she lives anymore.
Well, and that was the thing is when I talked to Jason, like when I was first talking to Jason again, I hadn't spoken to him in years, probably a good 10 years. I had not had a conversation with him. And he told me about the times that him and like Brian or whoever would be like out boating and would stop by to see mom.
Yeah.
And we weren't talking. Like him and I had not had a conversation in years, and yet he was still visiting my mother as often as possible.
Yep. So that's like it's like that's really says something about like the complex like thing like with mom is like she's literally such a caring person, and she makes everybody who comes into contact with her know it.
Yeah.
But she also just did not handle life for a while there. And I mean, it's not like she did anything wrong if she hadn't had 5 kids to, you know what I mean? Like,
right, that's the thing.
But I mean, like, again, you everybody grieves different. You can't really, you know, I don't know. It's weird. It's complicated. But also on to the point of all of their friends also being big drinkers. Um, it also didn't seem weird to me because all of the adults around me drank a lot.
Exactly.
So it was like it just kind of it took me most of my life to realize that hey, this isn't actually like the way that it always is. Like it's not the way it's supposed to be.
Right, exactly.
And I had a lot of like I'm not even like I can't even say I'm mad about any of it because I had a lot of fun being mildly neglected.
I know, me too. Like, I had great friends. I had so much fun. You
Yeah,
know,
like
like, we essentially obeyed the rules. Like, we were not supposed to leave the area that we were allowed to hang out,
mm-hmm.
and we didn't. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't go
Well,
tick
and
off
like
other places.
yeah, and like if I went over to like when I like even very young, if I went to Autumn's house and I didn't call within the first couple of hours, Mom would start calling around being like and like get mad at me and be like, "You need to let me know where you are. I need to know where you are."
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
I
like
didn't have that. I could have
I
went
had
days
that.
without calling.
I had that, but
But, you know,
I
still.
was younger. I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
Um, but
Well, and
yeah,
I
and
mean, I
like
guess that's technically not true because Tracy and I did have a time that we had to be home. We could
yeah,
almost always call and ask for an extension, and as long as like we were together when we called, she would give it to us.
yeah,
But you know, we had to go home.
yeah. Like if we were she acknowledged our existence and like she wanted to make sure we were okay, but she just gave
Yeah,
us a lot of freedom.
yeah,
Like
way more than we should have had. I'm gonna be honest, like
yeah, way
way
more.
more.
But like I I had so much fun.
I know,
Like
me too. Like
and like I can't like it's not something I would encourage, but like at the same
no, like
time, those times when like I was like 9, 10 years old and you know, Autumn would come over to stay the night and Mom would be gone like all weekend and we would just be like it was just fun. Like we would just do our own thing.
right.
We had the whole house to ourselves.
Well, and with me, I think the biggest thing was just the fact that it was more like emotional neglect. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
even like when I had a horrible anxiety and I would try to like come to my mother for help, she would be so wasted that I never got any help. And I literally had to learn how to cope with my own anxiety 100% by myself. Well, I mean, I guess not 100% by myself. Heidi was around and
We should do a whole thing about our anxiety.
yeah,
Not
remember
just parenting.
Oh, just
No, no,
anxiety
not
in
just
general? Oh,
parenting
yeah, yeah,
anxiety.
we
Just
can do that. Oh, yeah, I've got some stories. The very first time I ever had an anxiety attack, I remember exactly where I was and every detail about it.
I have stories about your anxiety too.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Yeah, because I'm sure that that was insane for you. I literally, like, lost my mind for a while there. But yeah, so, you know, there was a lot of things happening, and at one point it all caught up to me, and I literally could not leave my house, which I'm not going to get too into it again because we'll do a video on anxiety. But like, I had a 6-month period where I couldn't leave my house, and my mother just wasn't like, she took me to therapists, she took me to doctors, but like, if I woke up in the middle of the night having a panic attack, I couldn't go to my mom because
Yeah.
she wouldn't even be functional.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of stuff that like got me. That's why if my kid wakes me up in the middle of the night crying, I'm up and I'm not leaving.
Oh, yeah.
I literally will sleep in my child's bed or, you know, whatever I have to do so that my child knows that they don't ever have to, my children know that they don't ever have to deal with that shit on their own.
Oh, so see, this is us getting into how it affects us now.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Because I have the same thing going on where, like, okay, sometimes Jay will kind of say like that the kids, you know, he doesn't want like the kids getting out of bed after a certain time,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you know, and I'm like, I don't care what time it is. If you want me, come get me. Like,
Me and Bob used to have that same conversation where he would be like, well, they can't get out of bed past blah, 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 blah. If, after the third time they get out of bed, we're going to start punishing. No, we are not. If my child is upset for any reason, I don't care if it's because their stuffed animal's eyes are the wrong color.
Yep. Like, I will be like in the middle of doing something super important because, okay, and for me, it was like, it wasn't even so much the alcohol for me. I mean, maybe it was, but like, legitimately, Mom would just be reading. Like, she would just be so into her book, and I'd be like sitting down trying to like tell her something about my life, and she would just be like, like half listening, like she kind of just wanted me to stop so she could keep reading, so I would just kind of stop and walk away so that she could keep reading. So now if the kids come up to say anything to me, I will drop everything I'm doing and acknowledge, like fully listen to what they're saying.
Right.
And like when I or like when what am I trying to say? I'm sorry, I started reading something and on the bulletin board and got completely distracted. So yeah, just that. And like if the kids will, or if the kids want to like be in the room, because also Mom would kick me upstairs like anytime they wanted to smoke. And that was the most annoying thing for me. Like, I'd just be hanging out in the living room. She'd be like, you need to go away, basically. Like, you need to go upstairs. And I'm like, I don't want to go upstairs. I'm hanging out downstairs right now. And she'd be like, you need to. And I'm like, no. So now, like, no. I mean, obviously, thankfully, Jay's never tried that where he won't let the kids in the room while we're hanging out. And we don't, we don't smoke or anything, like, during the day. So no worries there. But, like, but the kids can always, like, if they want to hang out with me, they come hang out with me. I don't really care what I'm doing. Like,
yes, exactly. Me too. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I definitely feel like it affected my parenting style quite a bit.
Yeah, just very, like, attentive and, like, yes, I am listening. Yes, you can be around me. Yes, I want you around me. Like, like...
Yes. And for me, it's more, if you're upset in any way, come to me immediately. I'm right here. Like, you do not ever have to think that you can't wake me up. Like, I've said that to Salem on numerous occasions because, he'll come to me, if he's really feeling down and, wakes me up in the middle of the night and just needs me to, hold him for a little bit while he cries. And he'll apologize. And it's like, baby, you have absolutely no reason to apologize. If you are upset in any way, you better come and wake me up. And I would much rather you wake me up at 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning and sob in my arms than sit upstairs and do it on your own.
Yes. Exactly. Okay. Alright, so now what about all of our relationships with alcohol?
Okay, now I'm going to there's a train passing by Stardew Valley if you're anywhere
I'm actually headed up that way right now.
Perfect. So. Alright, because I'm down at the beach fishing, so see if you can grab anything. I'm going to give my opinion on everybody's relationship with alcohol, and then you can, debate, discuss, whatever. I feel like with me and you and I are kind of similar with our relationship to alcohol because, like, you have drank on occasion and, do drink, like, if you're, I don't know.
Nope.
I can't think of any time. I guess have drank in the past, like hanging out with your friends or whatever.
Yeah, I drank, I drank a lot in my teens and in my early 20s.
Yeah.
But now I haven't drank since Augie was a year old, and I hated it when I did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you are exactly like me. Okay. Yeah. Because I drank a lot from like 15-ish until I was roughly 19, and then I stopped. Or no, I guess I was 18 because it was when I had anxiety. And then when I got a little bit older, it was actually when I was 22. I didn't really drink or anything, but then my roommate had gotten blown off by her friends for her 21st birthday, so I offered to take her to the bar and buy her her first legal drink. And her and I had one drink, played a few games of pool, and went home. And then that became like our weekly, like when every other week when Matthew would be gone at his dad's for the night, because at the time when Matthew was really little, his dad only took him twice a month for like an overnight visit. Not because it was like court ordered or anything, but just because Matthew was so little that he didn't want to keep him away from me, like for longer than necessary. But so that's how we did it. So me and her had this like standing like date, I guess, whatever, where we would go, but it was always like a drink. It wasn't ever getting drunk. And then pretty much ever since I had Salem, ever since I got pregnant, I don't drink at all. And with me, my whole thing has always been I do not and will not drink around my children. Not a drop.
Yep.
And I'm not getting drunk at home. I'm not drinking at home. I'm not, like, I don't keep alcohol in my house. Like, I'm almost, like, unhealthily, like, against drinking and alcohol. And, like, I get so irritated when I see, like, posts on Facebook or posts on Twitter or people on Instagram or whatever, even TV shows, moms who can't get through the day without their glass of wine or need that wine to relax, or, oh, these kids are driving me nuts, when can I have wine? Like, even when my friends joke around about how the kids have been so crazy all day that they just need a drink, I don't say anything because I know that they're just, you know, whatever. But
that's just a common, like, haha, kids are frustrating.
Yeah, but, like, I remember, I think it was Tiffany one time said something to me about, oh, you know, this has been so stressful, you and I just need to go drink after this. And I was like, I don't drink and I'm not going to. And, like, there's no reason for me to act like that. But, like,
you're right.
I'm not going to. I don't drink and I'm not going to drink. Like, if I'm stressed or upset about something, the last thing that I want to do is touch alcohol.
Yeah, right.
And you and I seem to be very similar with that. Heidi and Tracy went the exact opposite way. Heidi, I don't know, like with Heidi, I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. I don't know if she's an alcoholic or if she just is a drinker and a partier, because to me there's a difference.
Yeah. Well, I feel like she's just a partier, and she's just one of those people that's like, I need to be having fun. Like she's just one of those people that, like, and I mean, she's not wrong that, you know, you should have fun in life, but she's one of those people that takes it like, I need to be having fun at all times.
Yeah. But I also feel like she could go weeks without drinking and not care as much, but she definitely likes to drink quite a bit, and she has had her moments.
Well, when I lived with her, they really only drank on the weekends, and then occasionally, like, you know, maybe like a beer at the bar if it was like a stressful day or something, but not like getting drunk.
Yeah.
And then there were times where they, you know, were like low on money, so they didn't, like, Heidi was like, okay, we're not gonna buy any alcohol. And actually, oftentimes Nick was the one that would just come home with like beers or something, and she'd be like, what the hell? You know, like, right. So I definitely don't think she's an alcoholic.
No, I think that she does have the tendencies, though. Like, I think that there have been times where, you know, maybe it was a little more than, like, remember when her doctor told her that her kidneys were bad and that she was either going to have to give up pop or alcohol, and she was like, well, obviously it's pop, I couldn't ever give up alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like at that point in her life, drinking was a little more of a dependency than
just a fun time.
Yeah, more like a crutch. But Tracy is a different story. Tracy is a full-fledged alcoholic.
Yes.
Because she genuinely cannot not drink. Funerals, she has to find an excuse to drink. Weddings, birthday parties, a simple kayaking trip. I remember she told me the other day, that she couldn't go do something or another because she didn't have the money. And I was like, it was whatever it was free. And I was like, they're gonna charge you to like go kayaking or whatever it was. She was like, well,
Yeah.
no, but I can't do it and not bring beer. And I was like, no,
Yes,
actually,
you
you can.
can.
And
In
she
fact,
was
if
like,
you're going to do something kind of dangerous, you probably should not bring beer.
well, and she was like, well, I mean, I can, but I'm not gonna just go when everybody else is drinking and not drink like that. I would never do that. I can't just do that. And like, she was legitimately angry that I even suggested that she do this, whatever it was, without alcohol.
Yeah.
And like, this is a thing that happens with her often, like very, very often. She does not like the idea of not being able to drink. She gets very angry if she can't have alcohol for, like, she just, I don't.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that all of her friends are those people that, like,
Yeah, but I mean,
that
she's.
use the drink to socialize.
Exactly, but she's even like, with her it's bad. Like, I can't. Even her friends are like, sometimes like, okay. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like, chill out. We don't need to. Yeah.
yeah, like, she just, like, I remember we went to a funeral, and it was my best friend's dad's funeral. This was not just some, like, this was a very, I mean, obviously all funerals are serious and important, but this one was a little extra, because again, it was my best friend's dad, and it was a very unexpected death, and it was terrible, and it was bad. And my sister, our sister, at the like wake afterwards, tried to make it into a party, like tried to get people, like when this wake was winding down, tried to get people to like stay and hang out at the bar with her, like, and I'm talking like the children of the deceased person who had to like go back and deal with the funeral home and like do all this important stuff, and she was like just basically trying to make it into like party time. And when stuff like that happens, that's embarrassing. Like, or when we went on vacation to Disney World, and she got completely wasted every single night, spent most of the money that was meant for food on alcohol.
Having to get drinks at every stand and stuff.
Yes. And ended up like not getting to the parks until afternoon because she couldn't get out of bed. And that was really deeply upsetting for my nephew. Like, he was so angry about that. And
and he's willing to let her know too.
Oh yeah, and the problem with that is he lets her know so disrespectfully. And like, I understand why he's mad, and I fully, agree with him on that, but like, buddy, she's still your mom. You can't be disrespectful. Like, yeah. But like, it's really hard to tell, like, how do you tell him that without, because I mean, he has every right to be mad.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very, very hard to deal with sometimes, because like, I'm not even sure if I would consider her a functioning alcoholic, because she doesn't get up to go to work. She loses most of her jobs because she doesn't get up. She won't take jobs that like have hours that start later so that she can like get up on time, because she needs to be able to go to the bar in the evenings.
Yeah.
But when you talk to her about it, she will insist that she barely drinks. This is not true.
I mean, that's kind of, that's like an addict MO,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You can't.
So she is not to the point where she would even be capable of getting help, because she won't admit that there's anything wrong.
Well, and also because when you live in a small town like that, it's so normalized to just be drinking constantly.
Yeah, like, I literally don't hang out with people. Like, most of my friends dropped me. I genuinely do not hang out with anyone at all, and probably would never be able to date again for the rest of my life, even if I wanted to, because almost every single person I know is a moderate to heavy drinker.
Yeah.
And I don't go out to bars, and I don't go places without my kids. I don't go to things that children are not welcome at, and I don't drink. So,
Oh, Jay's home.
Oh, welcome home, Jay.
Yeah, well, so for me, I I just don't like, because I remember I I drank a lot. Obviously, I did a lot of drinking like in my teens and my early 20s because I didn't have any real, like, I had a job, but like I didn't have any like real responsibility, you know?
Right.
Um, but then when I but then when I had Augie, I remember he was a year old and I had not gone out like with friends. I had never left him. Um, I mean, he was a year old. And so, I say that like moms don't do that, but
I
um
know. I was just thinking that.
and but like, I didn't want to leave him. I didn't want to go out, but April had a birthday party. April's one of my friends, one of my best friends growing up. And she had a birthday party and there was a party bus.
Yeah, I
And
remember
like they
this.
were gonna go to like bars and stuff, and Jay was basically like, listen, you haven't really gone out and had fun with your friends in a long time. You know, it's okay. Our son doesn't rely on nursing anymore. Like, yeah, you can go out for a night, like go out, have some fun. I was like, okay, but like, on the inside, I was also like really anxious about it. And then I went out and I did drink and I did get drunk and I had a lot of fun. But I also remember the entire time asking everybody if I was a terrible mom and like if what if my son wakes up and he wants me, and just like
Yep.
so upset about it. Like I did not, like, I had a good time, but then every once in a while it would creep back in like, oh my God, I have a baby at home. I'm a terrible person, like
And the
I
problem
wasn't a
with
terrible
that,
person, but
the problem with that is if you are with people who do not have children, they will not understand it.
no, they really won't. But I mean, my friends are my friends, so they were
Yeah,
kind
I
of
mean,
like, they
they're not
comforted
going
me, and
to be rude to you about it, but they're also not going to understand your.
yeah, they're not going to understand why, like, it genuinely upset me and why I felt so uncomfortable. Um, and so, but like, I got, I was still texting Jay the whole time, like, how's the baby doing? And he's like, he's sleeping, he's fine,
Yeah,
have fun.
relax, he will be okay.
Oh yeah, he did end up having to take him in the stroller once to walk with him though, to get him back to sleep. I forgot about that, like in the middle of the night.
Oh no.
Um, but he got him back to sleep and he was fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was fine.
Yeah,
Like
he's perfectly
it
capable of taking care of his own child.
yeah,
But
exactly. Like I wasn't worried about Jay, but I was just like, he wants me and I'm
yeah,
not
exactly.
there,
It's hard to be away from your baby.
And so,
But,
and like I did it, I had fun, it was a good time, I'm glad I went, and then I never drank again.
no.
I have not drank again since, I have not had any alcohol since, and I don't want to. And part of that is because I remember, even though I loved the adults in my life and, like I had fun with them and everything, I also, mom, like her friends, just all of the people who were drinking when I was a kid, I remember finding them mildly embarrassing because they were sloppy and they were like,
Yes.
and like I didn't, like I was like, if I broke my arm right now, who the hell is gonna bring me to the
That's
hospital?
exactly
Like,
my thing.
and like I just felt so like, and I don't want my kids to see me like gross and sloppy and
Yes.
slurring my words and falling all over myself. Like, ew,
Well, and I
no.
remember even like when I would go to the bar, like, because originally it was just me and Sam understood my need to not, get wasted. But
Yeah.
my other friends would sometimes question, like, when they started joining us, they would sometimes question, even Bob would question why I wasn't getting drunker if my kid was with his dad.
Yeah.
And I would tell them, it doesn't matter if he's with his dad. If his father calls me and says, "Hey, our son has a fever," would you think I'm just going to say, "Too bad, not my weekend," or not my weekend? Like, no.
Exactly.
If my child needs me, even if it's so much as he's sad and he misses his mommy, I'm not going to be the sloppy drunk mom showing up to pick up her kid.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Like, no.
Or walking
And,
into
like,
the ER reeking of booze.
yeah, it's absolutely not. And like, yeah, and it doesn't feel right to me, and it doesn't like, and And like another thing is like if I know that I have some of mom and dad. I know that I have it in me because I can't just have a drink. I don't see the point in just having a drink because all it does is make me feel kind of gross. If I am going to drink, I'm going to be having multiple drinks and I'm going to be drinking to get drunk. That's how it goes
Oh, see,
every
not
time.
me. I can
See,
easily have one drink without a
and
problem. I just don't like to.
but like, it's not that I can't have one drink without a problem. It's just that if I have one drink, I'm, I don't feel good. Like, I feel gross and I just feel like, ugh, and I feel sluggish. So then I'm like, well, I have to drink a few more so that I at least feel okay. Like, I still, like, you know what I mean? Like, otherwise, why am I even drinking? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. See,
So
and I'm the type of
it's,
person who genuinely could have a glass of wine at night to unwind or whatever, and it wouldn't bother me, but wine is disgusting.
it
And I
is.
don't like just sitting at home drinking alone, and I don't require alcohol to unwind
Yeah, exactly. I don't either. Like,
or
if
to
I
de
want to
stress.
unwind, I'll sit down and read or listen to music
Yeah,
or play a
exactly.
video game
Music,
or,
read,
like,
yeah. Stardew Valley. Like,
yeah, it's not really, yeah, I'm chatting with my sister on,
yeah,
but
exactly.
like, but yeah, it's like and I'm not like saying like every mom who has a glass of wine to unwind at the end of the day is a terrible mom or anything like that.
No.
It's just I don't like the idea of being drunk around my kids because of my own experiences. And it's just
Exactly.
I'm not comfortable with it and I don't want to be that mom. And
And honestly, I feel like if you truly need alcohol to de stress, that
well,
might
then there's
actually
more.
be a problem.
Yeah, there is more going on there.
Yeah, like
Well, parenting is stressful,
it is stressful.
but it shouldn't be so stressful that you have to remove yourself from reality, basically.
Exactly. If it's so bad for you that you need alcohol, someone should be helping you. Because
Yeah,
like I have gone my entire life with almost no help when it comes to my children, even though I was married to the father of two of them. He was
yeah,
not a super helpful father. He was not a hands-on dad who would, let me go take a bubble bath while he read the kids a bedtime story. If I even wanted to go out to the movies with my friends, I had to make sure that the children were sound asleep before I could leave the house because he could not handle them. So it's not like I got help with my kids. My mother did not take my other kids while I gave birth. My mother did not, even so much as like make me a dinner my first night home from the hospital. She literally was
oh,
like,
Lyric
nah,
is
you've
awake
got
again.
this. What?
Lyric is awake again.
Oh no.
Go
Okay,
on.
well, we're almost done. But yeah, do you need to go, do you need me to pause it for a second?
We'll just wrap it up because
Oh, okay.
she's not gonna.
Um, but anyway, my whole point is I think that the one sister that has the healthiest relationship with alcohol is Heather.
Yes, because
Because
she can have drinks on occasion.
yep, Heather can go out with her friends for like a lunch. She like catches up with some of her friends from school sometimes, like high school. She can have a drink and not drink a bunch. She can have a drink with her meal and be fine. She can go to a wedding and she can get even drunk sometimes. But if she is getting drunk, it's a guarantee that her and my brother in law have a hotel room for the night and will not be driving home. They have a
Yeah,
babysitter for their children. They don't have their children with them. Um,
maybe.
and she also can go months and months and months and even years without touching alcohol without it even crossing her mind. And then have a lunch date with her friends or a wedding to go to and either have a drink or have a few drinks and get a little buzz. And she's not sloppy, she's not violent, she's not rude, she's not getting wasted and stumbling home in front of her children. She's
She's the
not.
oldest and has the least experience with dealing with the drunk parents.
Exactly. And although I think she is the only one who has, well, her and Heidi have like memories of dad actually being drunk.
That's true.
But to them, it was like a once or twice. And actually, I don't even think it was drunk. I think it was like he had like a root canal or something, or had his wisdom teeth out and was like high from the painkillers still, or something like that. So it might not have even been drunk.
You're gonna have to wrap this up on your own. I think she's very upset.
Okay, that's fine. But yeah, anyway, that
But yeah.
Heidi for sure is or Heather for sure is the one
Oh yes,
who has
the
the best.
healthiest one about it.
Yep,
And then maybe even Heidi after that.
maybe. But okay, yeah, I'll wrap it up. You can go take care of Lyric.
Okay. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, but yeah, guys. So that was me and my sister's me and my sister, and what it was like to be raised. And I mean, we didn't get into a lot of detail because it was kind of hard because you know, it's hard to get into too much detail without talking about some stuff that we might not necessarily want to talk about. Like there were things that happened in our lives like that involved our moms drinking, not like horrible. I mean, not horrible. I don't know how to describe it. Not like there weren't people that like my mom wasn't like bringing random drunk men home. Nothing like that. She literally drank wine at home. She'd sit on the couch, read her book, and drink enough glasses of wine that she could go to sleep without, that she could pass out, essentially. But she wasn't, like, going out to bars. She wasn't bringing home random men. She wasn't, knocking things over. Like, she literally would sit on the couch, read a book, and, like, it would be, like, what you would expect for, like, a normal, like, wine mom, so to speak, where they, sit at home and have their little glass of wine while they watch their reality TV or whatever, but with her, I'd be drinking her wine and reading a book. The difference is she didn't stop at one glass of wine. She would literally drink until she passed out so that she could go to sleep. Because if she had to lay down and think, because I know from experience with after my dad died, the minute I got in bed, that's when all the thoughts would come. That's when I'd be sobbing. That's when, that's when it all hits you, when you're just laying there in your bed trying to go to sleep. As everybody knows, that's when all your thoughts hit you. So I guarantee that was her thing. She discovered that if she could just pass out, she wouldn't have to deal with that. And it was literally a coping mechanism. And you have to think, my mom was like 30... I'm not even sure if she might have been 36. I think she turned 37. Because my dad had just turned 38. So, no, because I think they're only a year apart. A little less than a year. So maybe she was 37. Either way, she was not even 40 years old yet. She was younger than me. And so, I don't know. Like, obviously I'm not making excuses because it sucked. It did suck. But it affected me more when I got older. I mean, it did affect me then. I don't know. I feel like we could deep dive into this a lot more. But it's just I don't want to tell too many stories of stuff that happened because my mother's still alive. She's still here. She works in the community. People see her. They talk to her. There's a lot of people that don't even know that she drinks at all, let alone, has a dependency. So I don't know. I think at some point we'll probably make more videos about this, but it was a lot growing up, and I had a lot of animosity for a lot of years until I realized that she genuinely needed it to survive. I guess I don't know. It's terrible, and she probably should have had, maybe some therapy and grief counseling, but we're poor and insurance is not easy to come by in this country. Mental health services were hardly a thing around here. I'm not even sure if we had any around here at that point. And I mean, you do what you gotta do. She had to work. She couldn't take time off work. She had 5 kids. We were barely above poverty level. I mean, just, I don't know. Anyway, I don't drink. I haven't drank in a very long time. Very long time. I don't, very long time. And Holly doesn't drink. And like we said, Heather, I think, is probably the only one with a genuinely healthy relationship with alcohol, because Holly and I are very, very, like, almost triggered by it. Tracy and Heidi are the opposite, where they run head first into it. And Heather's just like, yeah, I'm good. You know, so, I mean, yeah. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Tomorrow, I think Holly and I are going to talk, well, hopefully tomorrow, depending on Lyric and if she can go to bed and all that. But the next video we record is supposed to be a video about us parenting with anxiety. So that's going to be an interesting one because, yeah, it's a lot. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. If you like Gilmore Girls and you haven't watched it, go watch our deep dive into Gilmore Girls, because I love that video. It's my favorite. And it was super fun to make. But yeah, tell me what you think of this one, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!